Okay, hello everyone. We're following on with page 29 today, and we're hopefully finishing this part with Unit 2, Lesson 6. And this is all about is the again trying to make a question using who, whatever. I'm saying we're using question words, and we're trying to focus on certain parts of the sentence that we want to transfer and change into a question. Now, in this part, I'm not going to explain again what we explained before. We're just going to follow through the same way. Last time we defined there's a sentence with subject, verb, object, and part of information we're talking about. So let's just do the same thing here again. And we're going to start with number 2. The book describes the accidents for doctors. The book describes accidents for doctors. Alright, so there is a subject here, we're going to say, and then there is a verb as an analysis, and then there is an object, and then there's a part of the info that we're gonna use as well. So with A, we're actually supposed to ask about the book. So what we're going to focus on is the book as the subject. Remember, every time we want to ask about a subject, we're basically going to just keep the sentence the same way, and we're just going to like add the rest of the sentence and add a question word to it. So we're not going to use the question word who. We're going to use what, because who is used for a person and what is used for something that's it's something, it's not a person, not a living being. So I'm going to keep the sentence the same. What describes accidents for doctors. Okay, see. Now with B, we're going to focus on describing accidents. As you see here, accidents. Okay, so let me just try to point out things for you here. Oopsie, I don't know what's happening here on my computer. It's just going crazy. All right. So we're focusing here on what, using the question word what, and we're focusing on accidents. So let me try to point this out for you again. It's what, and we're gonna ask about about accidents. So this is the missing part that we're going to focus on. So it's what, and we have just changed it from this position into this position. So what, we're gonna change the verb again into two parts. Last time we did change the verb told into did tell. In this one is gonna be changed here as does describe. And then for doctors, it's just going to be kept the same. Now, note that again, if I want to like think about the question here, like what does describes what does describe for doctors? Well, I can't just say this like in the same way. There must be something that's separating between the two parts of the verb, which we did last time, like. So we're basically going to use the book. So let's say this part is pretty much what this part is all about too. Okay, so what we just did is to try and separate the verb into two parts, as in does and describe, and as for the book is going to be replaced by accident, and the subject with the object, just in position, okay, not in function. Now, for doctors, it's just going to be the same position as well. We're going to use a question word at the beginning. What here stands for accidents. So the question will be in B, what does the book describe for doctors? Now, let's move on to the other part here. The last one, C, who. And we need to ask about the doctors. So I'm going to actually focus on asking about the information, the last part. So I'm going to say who, and let's try to put the sentence again in the same order. Now, who does, I need something here, and then I'm gonna say describe. Alright, and I need to ask about the information, so I'm not gonna write for doctors here because this is the missing part, right? So I'm gonna say who does something describe for something. I still have a subject and an object to put on, like sorry, which is the book in accidents. So we say what does the book describe. So who does the book describe accidents for? I'm going to be using for here because I do need this word to indicate for the information. If you could just try to remember last time we used about first aid, we used the word about, which is preposition, but here we're using for. So it's pretty much the same concept. We're only trying to make better implementation for better application for it. Now let's move on to the next sentence, which is 3. Ahmed played games with his friends. Alright, so I'm going to say Ahmed is the subject and played is the verb, games is the object, with his friends is the part of the information. So let's start with asking about Ahmed, about the subject. So we say who, and then played games with his friends, and then question mark. Now if I'm going to ask about the games, which is the object, I'm going to use what? Absolutely, I'm not going to say who, for example. This is the right question word. And I'm going to change the verb into 2 parts. Did play, because there's an ed here, which means it's a past tense. We're using did play, and then with his friends it's just going to be the same. Okay, so what did, and I'm going to use the name of the person here. So basically, let's say this is one part and this is another part. Okay, so what did Ahmed play with his friends? Now when I want to ask about the last part, which is his friends, the information part, so I'm going to use who, because this is a person, and again I'm going to just use did and play here with a separation, and I'm going to be using with as the last word because we used for here, with here, about last time. It's a preposition we're going to use. So who did, and then we're going to keep the object over here, games with, and Ahmed is just going to be kept the same here again because it's the verb, the subject. So who did Ahmed play games with? That's what we, oops, we're going to form our question. Sorry, today I just had my coffee, still didn't get it. Anyway, let's move on. The pupil is going to clean the board with an eraser. Alright, so well, basically we're going to just we're not gonna separate them again here because it's just taking space. Or you know what, let me just separate them for you, no problem. We're gonna start by asking about the pupil. So who, and I'm just gonna use the same sentence again. Who is going to clean the board with an eraser? And then there's the board. So what? The board is something. So I'm going to remove the board here, and we're going to separate the verb. Is going to clean. Is going to be cleaned with an eraser. What is going to be cleaned with an eraser? Huh? It is the board. Now, last one. An eraser. Yeah, we're going to ask about the part of the information. So it's what? It's not who. And let me just say, all right. Put it this way. No problem. We're going to separate the verb again. What is going to be cleaned? What is going to clean the board with? I just don't know what happened. I'm just kind of confused here. What are pupils going to clean the board with? All right. So we just separated the part here. It's in the object and is in information. All right. What is going to be cleaned with an eraser, or what are? Oh, this is one pupil. So I'm sorry. I thought pupils. Okay. What is the pupil going to clean with an eraser? I don't know what happened to me here. Really, really sorry, bad teacher. My blame, my fault. Okay. What is going? I told Danny in my cup I'm just gonna finish this one and come back again. Okay. So this is the last part again. Was going to. What is the pupil going to clean the board with? Alright, so there you go. Here is your question. I'm just going to finish this part. I know it took you long, but let me just finish it here for you. You should use a non-slip mat in the bath. Alright, so if we're going to ask about you, you're going to say who, and just pretty much use the same sentence again because we're asking about the person in the bath. Okay, this is the information part. Now this is the subject, you, and should use as a verb, and non-slip mat is the object. Would you like me to separate it here for you in the bath? Okay. Alright, so these are the 4 parts, and here is how it's working here. Alright, now if I'm going to ask about a non-slip mat, which is the object, I'm going to use what, and then should be used. Should you use? I'm not going to change the form of the verb here because it's just simple. So I'm just going to change the order. What should you use? Oopsie, in the bath, which is going to be kept the same. Alright. Now, if I'm going to ask about in the bath, which is the piece of information at the end, I'm going to say where. Yeah, it's just kind of tricky here because we're using another question word which we haven't used before. Where should, separate the verb, okay? It should use. We're going to separate it. Where should you use okay. See, we're going to keep the same word as in a non-slip mat. Alright, so there you go. Where should you use a non-slip mat? So basically, as you've noticed here, we're only kind of playing the order right in the middle of the question, but we're just focusing on one part here where everything goes as we're just going to use the question word, and then at the end there's the information part, which we will only keep part of, which is the preposition, as in here, with, or maybe about, or for. So good luck, and I'll see you next time.